We all know that graphic design is the art of communicating ideas visually. So, as a graphic designer, your job is not just to make things look beautiful, but to solve communication problems using images, using colors, using text, and using layout. So, what is this paragraph trying to say? If you can have this mentality, then you'll be likened to be a good graphic designer. So some persons can design some things, but you can't call them good graphic designers because they don't have that mentality to combine their colors, text, and layouts and skill to solve problems. That's where they get it all wrong. But if you can be able to solve problems with your idea, with your creative skill, with your creative combination of colors and text, you can be able to solve communication issues, then you can be called a good graphic designer. And that's where one stands out of the crowd. So now, design is everywhere around us. As we all know, we have social media posts, we have company logos, we have billboard, we have product packaging designs, we have website designs, movie posters, and mobile apps. So, and we even have designs that are called sketch. If I can, if I can recall, if I can recall, uh, one of the one of the designs that made me win a particular award was actually a sketch design. What do I mean by sketch design? It was a landscape drawing sketch design. I drew a landscape sculpture, a landscape a portrait, and I that particular artistic work, because of its um, uh, unique mode of communication, it was able to stand out from the exhibition, from the artwork other people presented during the exhibition, and that one won me a prize. So, what am I trying to say? Designs, there are numerous types of designs, but your ability to be able to create and communicate is what matters. So, if you take, for instance, some of the social media um, flyers we see, and even some of the, apart from the social media flyers, they post, they send around on the internet. We also have some flyers that are being shared to us on the walkway. Maybe some church flyers, some business flyers. You come across sharing flyers on the walkway. So you find out that by the time they give you that flyer is a means of communication. Once the graphic designer have been able to put in the image, combine the text, combine the colors, so that every viewer can be able to read meaning to what that graphic work is saying on that flyer. So now, many of these designs are created using the Adobe Photoshop. So now, what is graphic design? What is graphic design? Okay, now graphic design is the process of combining text, images, colors, shapes, and layouts, okay, so as to communicate a message effectively. So, for example, just as I have said, a restaurant flyer promotes food, okay, and also, aside from promoting food, it can also tell us the location of where the restaurant is being sited. Okay, aside from promoting food and telling us the location of where the restaurant is being sited, it can also be used to uh, it can also be used to as information on maybe when there is any need for promo, maybe promo or discounts for customers. You can also do it using a flyer. So a logo represents a business identity. That is another form of graphic work. A logo represents a business identity. And then we also have another graphic work which are called social media banners. Social media banners, and they are all used to advertise products. Okay. What do we call social media banners? Social media banners are some of these banners or flyers or designs you see online. They are not being printed out like the normal flyers you can see. So any work of design you see on the internet is actually called a social media graphic work. Now, why do I call it a social media graphic work? It could be a social media banner, it could be a social media flyer, it could be a social media maybe ID, business ID card, or the rest. But as long as you don't print it out, it is a social media work of art. Okay. So, but the ones we print out are called they are categorized under the graphic design printed works. So, and there is a reason why I call them graphic design printed works, because as we proceed, I'll still show you the difference between the designs we leave on the website and the designs we print. We use different colors for them, which I will still show you. So a good design should attract attention. Very important. If you can be able to combine your colors well, it should help you. It should be very attractive. Now, it should also communicate clearly. A good design should communicate clearly. A good design should also look professional, and a good design should influence people's emotion. So please take note of these four concepts that I'm highlighting. Very important. If you must be a good graphic designer, your graphic work should be able to attract attention. Your graphic work should be able to communicate clearly. Your graphic work should be able to look professional. And your graphic work should be able to influence your viewers' emotion. So, and before you can achieve all this, there are principles of design you need to follow. And I believe in God that by the end of this class, we'll be able to consume those necessary principles we need to follow to get our artwork up to this standard, where it can look attractive, where it can communicate clearly, where it can look professional, and also influence people's emotion. Okay, so let's talk about real-world application of graphics or graphic design. So graphic design is used in many industries. There's what we call branding. Branding is how companies create identity and recognition. When you hear of company brands, you can agree with me that brand is a company's identity. If a company lost or loses its brand authority, then the company is gone. The company cannot compete out there. But if a company can be able to sustain its brand authority, it means that the company is very well equipped to compete out there. So you can find out that there are some certain structures that companies must put in place so as to help their brand to keep standing friendly. We can talk of logos. Most companies out there need logos. They need logo design for their company. So this is where some of our skill comes in. There are some websites that we can apply for logo creation as graphic designers, and we are given the opportunity to create those logos, and we are being paid. There are websites like that. So, but with time, I'll try and get examples of such websites where someone can apply for logo creation for companies, and in return, you'll get um, you get work to create a logo for a particular company, but you will be the one to bid the price with them. Then we also have business cards, creating company business cards. We also have creating company brand colors. Sometimes these brand colors might be used in their t-shirts. You see that companies have specific colors in creating t-shirts, specific colors in creating flyers, specific colors in creating banners, specific colors in creating um, in short, whatever type of graphic one they want to create, they use specific color, color mode or color pattern. So it's called branding also. Then in area of packaging, all those things I have mentioned earlier on are also called packaging. How a company can be able to package themselves to keep on building a strong company brand authority. So when you see a company's color or logo, you can immediately recognize that company brand. So for example, a fast food company may use red to buttress excitement and hunger. Then they can still decide to use yellow color to buttress happiness and energy. So now if you also put this into combination, you will find out that if you browse some company flyers or banners, you will see that they have one particular mode of color pattern. So this is exactly what this particular topic is talking about. If, for instance, if you have come across Melonis food place, you have come across their banners, all their banners are almost indicating that they are almost designed with the use of black and red colors. That is, I'm talking about Melonis food place here in Ado Ekiti. So just as this particular topic is telling us now that a fast food company may decide to use red for excitement and hunger, then they may decide to use yellow for happiness and energy. So all these are still part of what we call branding. Then when we now talk of advertising, graphic design helps business to promote products and services. Thereby, designers help them to create flyers, posters, billboards, social media ads, and product banners. So the goal of all this is to capture attention, persuade customers, and increase sales. Now, graphic design helps businesses promote products and services. Just as I have said earlier on, using the flyers, posters, social media ads, product banners, and the rest. So, and the goal of all this is to capture attention, persuade customers, and increase sales. Then there's also what we call digital marketing. digital marketing media includes design used online. For example, we have the YouTube thumbnails. They are all done by the work of graphic design. These are the examples of thumbnails I just cited, and thumbnails are used to make designs so that it can buttress what a video is all about. So, and they are likened to the flyers or banners of that video. And YouTube uses those thumbnails to share to your viewers. And with thumbnails, it makes your YouTube to have a faster push of algorithm. So that's it. That's it concerning the YouTube thumbnails. Graphic design for Instagram posts, for website banners, for mobile app interface. Then we also have digital design that focuses heavily on visual attraction, user engagements, and easy readabilities. Now, I want to talk purely on introduction to Photoshop. Remember that Adobe Photoshop is one of the world's most powerful graphic design and photo editing software application because of its features and characters. Photoshop is used for photo editing, it is used for flyer designs, it is used for poster creation, it is used for social media graphics, digital printing, and image manipulation, which is one of the most powerful tools of which we use Photoshop for. So why designers use Photoshop? In other words, it's trying to say, why do we use Photoshop? Now, Photoshop allows designers to edit image professionally, remove backgrounds, retouch photos. When you're talking about retouching photos, revamping photos, that is a kind of, you can even use another person's head to put in another person's body. You can also use it to create stunning visual effects, combine multiple images together, work with layers and effects. Then it is widely used in advertising agencies, media companies, photography studios, and printing businesses. Okay, so we want to talk about some of the 4 principles in using Photoshop as a printing tool. In other words, we are talking about the core principles of graphic design using Photoshop. Okay. Now let's discuss the most important design principles every graphic student must understand. So these principles are the foundation of professional design. 1 is the colors. If you must be a good graphic designer, then you must be very good in playing with colors or in combining colors. So now we have what we call color theory. Color theory explains how colors work together and affect emotions. Color communicates feeling and messages. And so now, examples of colors and their meaning. When you come to red, take note that red signifies energy. Remember, we have talked, always take note of this so that when you are designing, you can always design alongside the color theory. And even aside from all this meaning of colors, I'll still open your eye to how to combine colors, because we have what we call primary colors, we have what we call secondary colors, we also have the tertiary colors. And of the truth, you will bear with me that the primary colors are the major uh, they are the major, like say, foundations of color on which all other colors stand on. So it is the primary colors that give rise to the secondary colors. Then the mixture of the secondary colors give rise to the tertiary colors. So now let's talk about the meaning of colors first. You have red, talking about energy, talking about love and danger. So we have blue. Blue can signify trust. Blue can signify calmness. Maybe tomorrow now, a particular company, maybe a company that wants to build a particular flyer that's maybe particular flyer that can help them sell a particular product. Maybe all these electric gadgets like the iPhone and some of these new sophisticated phones that are coming in now. You find out that most of those flyers will need that blue color as a kind of trust. That is to say that the company can be trusted if you partner with them. So you would design this flyer in such a way that you can communicate using colors. Then if you talk about green is always communicating nature. Green is always communicating growth. Okay, then when we come to yellow, most times when you use yellow, you communicate happiness. So also when you use yellow, you communicate attention, attractiveness. So that's why you see that most times, permit me to use this example, most times you see that some men are more attractive to yellow ladies than the dark ladies. True or false? Okay. So if you cannot talk about black can be likened to luxury, and black can also be likened to power. Okay, then when we now talk about white can be likened to cleanliness and simplicity. Okay, then let's talk about types of colors and how we can combine these colors. We have complementary colors. Complementary colors as colors that are opposite to each other on the color wheel. Colors opposite to each other on the color wheel. And I don't know if you have come across what a color wheel is. So these are practical examples of how the color wheel looks like. You can see this one now. Yes, this particular one I'm showing you here now. So if you take note of this color wheel, you see that we have this particular one here as a primary color, which is red, right? This red. Then if you take note of this, you will see the yellow color, which is another primary color. Then if you also take note of we only have, yes, RGB. We only have 3. Next to the yellow color, the yellow primary color. I don't know why my stick is running. yellow green, and yellow orange. So those are the transitions, the color spectrums of yellow, which is the primary color. Okay, now let's go to the red. Let's go to the red. What are the colors surrounding red? Yes, yes, sir. Okay, now you will find out that the red orange is related to the spectrum line of yellow, right? The reason why I say it's related to the spectrum line of yellow, because if you look at it maybe at your right hand side, you will find out that from that red we have red orange, we have yellow orange before we have yellow. So that line, that particular wheel, that particular color wheel has a relationship. They are related. And the reason why they are related is because their color spectrums of yellow, they are descendants of yellow coming to mix with red. So if you must use any color from that particular color wheel that have red and yellow, any of those other mixtures that you use can also suit well on that graphic work or that graphic design. So what am I trying to say now? Combination or mixing of colors matters a lot. When you are mixing colors, try to use colors that are related in the color wheel, either related by, maybe there is what we call complementary colors, colors that are opposites themselves in a wheel, related through complementary colors, or related through color spectrums. So you'll find out that those three primary colors, which are red, blue, and green, or red, blue, and yellow, if you mix those three colors together in a particular graphic design, there will not be any challenge because they can flow together. But what I still want to tell you now, there is a particular standard in creating a graphic design work, and that standard is that we are not meant to use more than three colors in a particular graphic work. So, but a good graphic designer can make use of at least two colors for a professional work. If you can recall, when I first started, there were some principles I listed out, principles of how our designs should look like. We talked about our design should look professional, our design should look attractive. Now I want to buttress more on that professional area. This is where it comes in. The type of colors you combine together from this color wheel, the ones you select from this color wheel to build your graphic work, is what shows if your graphic work will look professional or not. Okay, so let me show you something now. Okay, so take a good look at this flyer. Yes, so like, how many colors can you notice on that flyer? So that means we have a combination of three colors there. Okay, so that means that design work is actually professional. Is the design is good to go. Now that is exactly what I'm talking about when you are using color wheel. Okay, now remember that you said red is there, right? And you said blue is there, and you said yellow is there. So that means the person actually made use of the three primary colors. Okay, so if you make use of yellow and you don't want to make use of red, you can as well use any of these ones that are on the same color wheel with yellow. If you use orange will still go well with yellow color. Now if you use blue, you can still make use of these ones that are related to blue. Blue will still go well with violet. You can see it. So the same way, red can still go well with violet. They are related. So we are meant to use colors that are related together in the color wheel so that you can make your work professional. So that's the major reason I wanted to show you the color wheel. So let's proceed. So okay, let's see. Now we have complementary colors opposite each other on the color wheel. Example, the red and orange, the red and green. They create strong contrast. We also have analogous colors next to each other. Example, blue, green, and green. They create harmony and what? Smoothness. Then we also have monochromatic colors, different shades of one color. We have light blue, we have medium blue, we have dark blue. Those ones we call them monochromatic. This creates a clean, professional look. Why does color matter in design? Color helps to grab attention, helps to create emotion. I'll be faster now. Color helps to grab attention, create emotion, build brand identity, and improve readability. Poor color choices can destroy a design even if the layout is good. Then let's talk about typography. Typography is the art of arranging text beautifully and clearly. And another name for typography is called formatting. For instance, I believe you have written formal letters and you know how to format a formal letter very well. The headings cannot be the same with the subheadings in font size. So also applies to graphics. There must be a good style of formatting. Now, it involves the use of font styles, font size, accurate spacing. Spacing could be line spacing or image spacing, good alignment. Let's talk about the types of fonts. We have sans serif fonts, which have small decorative lines. Example, Times New Roman, used for formal documents and traditional brands. Times New Roman is used, take note, for formal documents and traditional brands. Another font that can be used for formal documents is Inter. It's another font name that can be used for formal document. Can you hear me? And can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me? Okay. Can I proceed? Okay, so another formal font. Another font that can be used for formal documents is Arial. I've mentioned three. I've mentioned Times New Roman, which was given to us here as example. I have mentioned Arial and I have mentioned Inter. So those three fonts can be used for formal documents. Then we also have sans serif fonts, clean and modern. Example, we have Arial and Helvetica. So these are under sans serif fonts and they are used for websites and modern brands. Arial and Helvetica. We have script fonts. Script fonts are fonts that look as though it was written with a hand. For instance, we have, they can also be used for elegant designs and designs for invitations. Maybe when you want to use them to design invitation, birthday cards and the rest, you use those types of design. We also have typography rules. So remember, we have mentioned color theory, we have mentioned typography, and now we want to look at the typography rules. Good typography should be easy to read, well spaced, consistent, and professional. So I think if I should use this typography to score this flyer I just showed you now, are we together? Can you hear me? 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 Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello? Yes, I can hear you clearly. Yes, I can hear you. The place you are sending the message is not OBS chat, it's Google Meet. Let me check. Let me check it because the network is poor. Yes, I think network is poor. Network is poor. Okay. So okay. Now I Okay. Yes, I'm about to share it now. Okay. Network is very poor today. So that our work can be professional, so that our work can look professional. No, no. The reasons for using those colors is so that our work can look professional. Okay, so now let's talk about topography rules. And what you were you able to follow me when I talked on topography? Were you? Yeah. I finished photo. That is under topo. That is okay. Okay, that is under topography. Okay. 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 Sorry about that, sir. Okay. Now, still under topography. Let me redress again. Now, we have types of fonts, which is the sans serif, just as you have mentioned, and then we also have um, uh, this the sans serif now. That area we mentioned is under sans serif, and that area is used for websites and modern brands. Okay, then the one of Times New Roman is under serif. Times New Roman is under serif, and Times New Roman is used for for professional um, designs. They are used for professional designs. Look at it here. Serif fonts, Times e.g. Times New Roman, used for formal documents and traditional brands. Arial or Helvetica for websites and and brands. Then we also have script fonts. Script fonts, or they are used just this those script fonts are just like handwritten fonts, and they are used for elegant designs and invitations, like your birthday cards and the rest. So now we now look at the topography rules. Good topography should be easy to read, well spaced, consistent, and professional. Avoid using too many fonts in one design. Mistake is mixing many fonts in one graphic work. So it's a big mistake. Now, when we talk about composition is how elements are arranged in the design. So a good composition guides the viewer's eye smoothly. Okay. Then we also have composition techniques. Composition techniques. make use of the rule of thirds, whereby we divide the design into 9 equal sections. Important elements should be aligned with these lines. So this a situation whereby we define the lines with grid lines, so that we can be able to have proper measurements of whatever we are placing on the designs. So that's why we call it composition technique. Now, that particular one is not so important, but if you can place your images in a way that whether you place the grid lines or not, you can still make sure that they are all aligned fine. No need of making use of the grid lines. But if you know you cannot place your write-ups, place your images, place your maybe your headings, or place your titles on your notes in a way that they will be all aligned without being scattered, then know that you now need to make use of those grid lines so as to make all your sections equal. From the margin, from the left margin to the right margin should be equal. From the top margin to the bottom margin should also be equal. So the same thing applies to the images we fix on those graphic work. It should also be equal in distance. That is, their spacing should also be equal. Now let's talk about white space. White space is the empty area around objects. It helps design look clean, organized, and professional. Too many crowded elements create confusion. Then let's talk about visual hierarchy. Hierarchy controls what viewers notice first. Visual hierarchy. I want to talk about visual hierarchy. Now, as I explained before, visual hierarchy determines the shape or the format in which your design takes. Hierarchy controls what viewers notice first. Designers use hierarchy to direct attention. Now, you will agree with me that in a birthday flyer, what do you think that your viewers should notice first in a birthday flyer? Maybe if you are designing a birthday flyer, what do you think your viewers should notice first? Yes, the picture of the cake, the balloons, and the rest. Yes. Then what of maybe let's say maybe a restaurant is trying to advertise their new location. What do you think should be the visual hierarchy on that flyer? Yeah, a restaurant is trying to advertise their new location. Yes, a restaurant is trying to advert. Okay, so yes, those things matters a lot. So first of all, the aside from the address, also the name of the restaurant and then the address of the restaurant should be more visible. So those are what we call hierarchy. How to create hierarchy? Talk about size. We have large text. Large text attracts attention first. Then we have colors. Bright colors stands out. If you use bright colors, you can get faster attention than using dull colors. Then positioning. Objects Position objects at the top. Objects at the top are noticed faster. Objects that are positioned at the top of your flyer are always noticed faster compared to those who position at the bottom of the flyer. And when we talk about contrast, we have strong differences attract focus. Then we have example of hierarchy in a flyer. Headline should be big, or even one of the biggest font sizes you should be using, the headline. And we also have the product image should also be big, because it's the second in focus after the heading. Or in the heading might be the name of the company that is based on the type of flyer you are trying to create. Heading also can be the name of the promo that is ongoing. Heading also can be the name of can be a birthday event or any type of event. So those particular areas also should be more detailed in size. Then we also have description. Those ones now should be smaller, and then the contact details should be also small and should be among the last contents we'll see on the flyer. So this guides the viewers naturally to notice the differences, that is to notice the areas that are to focus more on your graphic design. Then when we talk about balance means distributing visual elements evenly. So balanced designs feel stable and comfortable. Balanced designs feel stable and comfortable. So types of balance, we have symmetrical balance, where both sides look equal, creates formality and stability on the eyes of the viewer. We also have asymmetrical balance, where different elements still feel visually balanced. Here creates creativity and modern appearance. So here are some common mistakes beginners make. They use too many colors, they used overcrowded designs, they used unreadable fonts, and they ignore spacing. Sometimes you even find misalignment of objects, whereby gaps between objects are different. So you see that when you are able to spot all these mistakes on a flyer, you can easily tell if the graphic designer is a professional one or not. So we should take note that good design is often simple and organized. Okay, so this some practical exercise that we are meant to do. It says create a simple event flyer using 2 font style only, 3 matching colors, clear hierarchy, balanced layout, and proper spacing. Let me just summarize that. Okay. So finally, graphic design combines creativity and communication. So to become a good designer, always take note to master the act of color theory, master the act of topography, master the act of composition, hierarchy, and balance.